Hi, everybody. My name is Jeanie Colclough, and you're listening to another episode of Riveting Trips with Jeanie Colclough. I'm a Condé Nast top travel specialist. And on today's episode, I have Mariana back, and we're going to talk about child or family-friendly activities to do in Sao Paulo and Rio and other areas of Brazil, which she is an expert of. But before we do that, please introduce yourself, Mariana.
Hi, everyone. Thank you again for having me, Jean. I'm Mariana. I'm almost 40, mother of two girls, living and born in Brazil. And I have a travel agent who I'm working since forever, for 20 years now.
Started
So
so
that's me.
young. You're still very young. You're still very, very young.
Yes, not that young, but yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, you're young. You're much younger than I am, so it's all right. On the last episode, you told us you were born in Rio and lived there until you were about 8 and then moved to Sao Paulo. Could you tell us about what you remember doing as a kid and then what you like to do now with your own daughters in those places?
Sure. I was born in Rio and I moved to São Paulo when I was 7 to 8 years old with my family, my parents and my brother. But I have a huge family. Like Brazilians, we have a lot, like huge families
I know.
actually. And since I moved to São Paulo, I always went on my holidays to Rio to
Okay.
spend time with my family. Rio for I think for the first time to actually spend a whole week on holidays there with them because my oldest is 5 and my youngest is 2, almost 3. And
Okay.
it was such a fun holiday because I started to do things that I did when I was
When
a
you were,
kid.
how long, so
And
before
it's
we get story in the story, how long is the distance between the two cities? Is it a drive?
I'm sorry.
How long is the distance between the two cities? What's the distance in terms of either
Oh,
flight or
it's like
drive time?
no, it's like the most common flight you find in Brazil. It's 40 minute flight,
Okay.
but you can drive as well. It's like 5 hours drive,
Okay.
six. And
If you stop.
but like I say, yeah, I used to do that almost every weekend with my parents when we were kids. So I'm very used to this road because it's a very good and safe road to go. It's 5 hours, 6 if you stop to have lunch or something like that. But nowadays we fly because it's with kids, they don't like to spend like 5 to 6 hours on
In the
car.
car.
So
Yes,
we
I
prefer to
know.
fly.
Okay.
And it's very common. Every hour you have like 2, 3 flights from Rio to São Paulo and vice versa. And
Wow.
it's
Okay.
amazing. And when you arrive in Rio by plane, it's amazing because you the whole coastline of Rio and you have this sugar loaf in front of you.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like a little bit scary if you're afraid of flying, but it's amazing at the same time because you see the mountain in front of you and the sea, and when you land very close to the sea. So
Mm.
it's just an amazing flight, I think, in my opinion.
Okay. So what are
So
some of the activities that you revisit with your own daughters now?
I went back to Sugarloaf for the first time in like more than 20 years because I remember going there with my parents and my cousins. And it's amazing. It's totally different from what I remember in the past because they organize everything for the tourists. So you have restaurants, you have bars upstairs. And it was the most beautiful day ever. Beautiful, like no clouds on the sky. And the weather wasn't that hot, so it was very pleasant to be around. And we went, I think it was lunchtime, so we
Okay.
could go up and eat something else. And when we were going down again, they have a DJ playing and a lot of things going on. And one thing that's quite interesting is that you can go by cable car
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
photos, but you can also take a trekking if you're more
Okay.
active, and you go to the first stop by just walking in the
Mhm.
forest, and it's a beautiful activity, and you can pay for the ticket for the cable car just to going down if you want to.
Okay.
And that's a very different way to see it if you are more
Yeah,
often,
active and fit, maybe.
yeah, I
Or
don't
want to
recommend for
become more
small
fit.
kids because they won't go.
Mm. They,
But
yeah, you
if
end up
you
carrying them
have like
down, right?
teenagers,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So this is one thing that I did that I haven't done for years, and it's quite touristic and it's amazing. You should go. Last year we went on the last Yeah, we went also to Rio in July, and we went to the Christ,
The
the
Redeemer,
big,
the statue, yes.
yeah. Uh, yeah, it's nice, but I think Sugarloaf it's more interesting because up in the Christ, it's a very small place and
Okay.
it can be very crowded, and it's, it's nice, of course, you can see the whole city from above, but if you have to choose, I will suggest you to go to the Sugarloaf
For
instead.
better views of the city
Yes, a better view, and you have a lot of things to do upstairs
up
as
there.
well,
Uh-huh.
and you have more space and you can walk around, enjoy, and it's more fun, I think.
That sounds like fun.
So what else I did? Of course, I went to the beaches.
Hmm.
We spent the whole day in the beach because my kids love to be in the sea. And we went to the botanical garden that it's
Okay.
beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful place to go. And we have where oh we went to the Rio Aquarium. That's
Oh,
because it's a place that was renovated in
okay.
Rio for the
The
Olympic Games.
Olympics?
We
Yeah, for
did,
the Olympics, probably, right?
yeah. It is a place in the city center of Rio that it was very, not nice place to visit because it was close to the docks where all
Um,
the big ships came, and it wasn't clean, it wasn't safe, but they did a huge renovated, and they created the aquarium, and there's a beautiful museum over to the sea, and they did all this renovated in the streets close by, so you can walk in the city center very
okay.
safely nowadays, and it's huge. They have two museums actually.
Okay.
One is called Mar, it's
About the
and
sea
it's
then?
still, yes,
Okay.
exactly. This amazing building that is quite in the point of the sea. So you have this whole town on one side and the
Oh,
sea in
okay.
front of you.
Okay.
And it's amazing. And again, I went there this July and it was huge. The lines, because quite popular and safe. A lot of kids and family walking around in the city center that used to be very dark and not safe
Mm.
place to visit. And they
But now,
renovated and become an amazing place to go. And you have the beautiful lagoon in Rio that you can just ride a bike for like 7 kilometers around the city with this amazing view. And I think the main difference between Rio and São Paulo, when you think about going out with your kids, is that Rio it's more active and more nature
and
designated, something like that. And because you spend a lot of time outside. And when you're talking about São Paulo, it's something that you are more inside because it's so much more focused on culture. I take my kids a lot to the theater during the weekend, and there are a lot of festival going on in the city, maybe like the main attraction that comes from abroad, maybe a exhibition or
okay.
something like that. They always come to São Paulo first
Before going to
before going
Rio.
to
Okay.
and it's so much more culture based, and all the activities. We have a lot of museums in São Paulo as well. So I always trying to think about going to different places, but there's a newspaper in São Paulo that every Friday they give you a different, like a small
Kind of
book
tell you what to
of
do in the city.
activities and cultural
Okay.
events that is going on. So that's it, because in São Paulo you have all the cultural events you can find everywhere in Brazil. So they are always here first. And then that's it. In São Paulo, I always take my kids to theater, movies, and exhibitions, and museums, and different activities every weekend. But it's not that much outside. It's always
Okay.
something more.
Inside.
And yeah, in São Paulo, I like to take them to ride bikes in the main park. It's Ibirapuera in the main city, like in the city center of São Paulo. And then during Sundays, the main avenue in São Paulo called Avenida Paulista, they close on the weekends, so the main street can
So it's just
people
kind
can
of
ride
people just
bikes,
wander
and
around. Yeah.
yes, and there in this place there are theater museums as well. So it's a nice way to find out about the city. Usually I leave my car at home and take the subway to go with them. So they experience during the weekend and not during the daily day, because it's crazy and like
Yeah.
super full and everything. So they during the weekend, it's a nice way to discover the city in the different way they do it during the week time.
So I guess the ideal vacation, you would put both of those cities together in your itinerary and then stay at least a week in this, maybe 3 or 4 nights in one city, or and then another 3 or 4 nights in another
Yeah,
city.
maybe you could join like definitely you should come to São Paulo during the weekdays, and then like on Thursday night you fly to Rio and spend the weekend. So you can enjoy the outside, the beaches and the parks. Yeah. I think 1 week to 10 days between Rio and São
Between the
Paulo
two
if you're
cities.
really into cities, but then you should go to another place as well from Brazil.
Yeah. The beaches in Rio, are they beach clubs? Are they private? Are they public?
No, there's no private beaches in Brazil.
Okay.
None Brazilians beaches are private. It's open. That's what makes a unique place in Rio, in my opinion, because the main beaches in Rio, they're in the middle of the city where you can have everyone. Like it's open, it's free, and it's accessible for everyone in the city, the richest and the poor, and
Yeah.
it's dynamic. That's what makes so unique place. You can feel the real, in my opinion, of course, you can feel the real Brazilian mix in a
Mhm.
place where you find everything, and it's from small kids, babies, to the oldest that go just walk down the beach, the
Yeah.
seaside, and to exercise themselves. And it's very honest, and it's very I don't know how to explain that. It's something so unique about Brazil, because what makes the big difference to come here, I think, is the people, right?
Right.
People are, like you say, kind. They are open. They love to interact with
People.
foreigners. So in the beach, in Rio, in the middle of the city, is like the perfect place to feel the energy from Brazilians, because you find everyone, everybody together in the same place, just to have fun, just to enjoy time with your family and friends, or just to go swimming after a day of at work. Just work for 5 hours in the office and it's really hot outside and it's the sea is right there. That's just
So
go
might
for
as well
jump.
go,
And
right? Just go for
yes,
yeah.
this is something that we always laugh about in, because that São Paulo and Rio, they are like, they all always think one is the best of the
Better.
others.
Yes.
They have this small competition. And in São Paulo, we have a lot of traffic jam. Maybe sometimes I take 1 hour just to go 8 kilometers distance
Yeah.
for the office. In Rio can be very hard as well if you're in the south zone and go to the city center, but you get the traffic jam beside the sea. You are
Mm.
driving with the sea right beside you. That's Cariocas usually they make fun of São Paulo because that's it. Okay, I'm in traffic jam, but I'm looking at the sea with this beautiful nature outside. And in São Paulo, it's just buildings, and that's crazy.
So would you
But
want to take your daughters and live in Rio for some time? Would that?
to live in Rio, I'm not sure, because all my growing up life was in São Paulo.
Mm-hmm.
Business business are it's
Is in
here.
Sao Paulo, yeah.
I'm not sure. It's only about work opportunities, I think. It's not
Mm.
because the city is better than the other,
Right,
but
right.
all the business are in São Paulo. So in tourism, actually, all the main companies are here. If you want to be in the travel industry, you have all the events happens in São Paulo. When we have exhibitors and travel fairs, they happens in São Paulo. And
Not
I'm
in
not, I'm
Rio.
not, I don't know. I never worked in Rio, so I can't say it, but who knows?
Who knows?
Actually, we can work from everywhere nowadays, right?
Yes. With a laptop, that's
So
pretty much all you need. But I think
yeah.
that sounds like exciting, right? Because it sounds like there's plenty of kid-friendly activities to do in both Rio and Sao Paulo. And you just have to connect with a person who's an expert or knows people who are experts in those regions, right? So I want to thank you again for coming on this episode of the podcast, Mariana.
Oh, Thank you so
So
much again.
yeah, so if everybody loved the episode, hit like and share and subscribe and tell your friends about this podcast, Riveting Trips with Jeanie Colclough. Once again, I'm a Condé Nast top travel specialist, and on these episodes, I bring on friends and contacts that I've met through the years in the industry. So if you'd like to plan your family vacation, please let us know and hit like and subscribe. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.